So that's why they make young guys insurance so high. Car insurance, I mean.
Yeah.
Do you have to have different type of insurance for motorcycles?
Yeah, but it's a little weird because it's like in a car, you're mostly concerned with the
And
bodily.
we hot mics, by the way. He put
Yeah,
us
with the
on.
bodily injury coverage, because like the idea of you may hit somebody with the car and injure them. The motorcycle, it's usually when there's an accident, you're the person getting hurt.
Right.
And so, but you can get what's called uninsured motorist on your motorcycle policy, which basically, if you're hit by somebody that doesn't have coverage or doesn't have enough,
We good. Appreciate you.
you can make a claim against the on your policy to recover for your injuries.
That's so crazy because you was the first person that ever, I had never heard of that before.
Of
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I still don't have it, but you still recommend that I get it.
Yeah, because in Florida, the state does not require a person to buy bodily injury coverage when they buy their policy. It's not required at all. So you can go buy a legal policy that basically has PIP and property damage. That's all you legally need. But if that person then hits somebody and injures them, they don't have any bodily injury coverage. So there's nothing to recover from them. And you can't control what another person buys on their policy. The only thing you can control is what you buy. So if you buy uninsured motorist coverage, now if you're hit by one of those people, you have at least something to recover, depending on how much you buy.
And how, like, I could look into it to see how much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the charges and the rates and all that, but
Yeah. But
it's
that's what
not
it's for.
not crazy. I mean, it's not crazy. I know I have it on my policy, but it's like that to add on to whatever you got is not crazy. So, I mean, you're already probably getting screwed with the normal coverages.
That's what I'm
like
saying.
to a degree.
So that's why I hate, because like for example, like you've never used it. You've had it for X amount of
No,
years.
knock on wood, man.
I know.
Yeah.
So that's what I fear. I fear buying something that I never fucking use.
Yeah. But, I mean, I talk to
But
people
still,
every single day, and it's like they're hit by somebody that doesn't have it. They don't have There's nothing else we can do. Yeah, there's just
So if you have that, you can at least attack the insurance company for money. That's what you.
Yeah, you make a claim. So like if you're hit by somebody that has no bodily injury coverage, and you're like, man, I'm really hurt. You can make, if you have like let's say you bought $25,000 in you can make a claim and recover up to $25,000 if your injury warrants it.
Right.
Versus walking away with zero.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you.
Man.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a significant percent of people that do not have bodily injury coverage too.
This is the type of stuff they should teach in classrooms, man.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I mean, unless we're just gonna put a pink on every corner. You know what I mean?
I'm not trying to do that. Yeah, I mean, I am all for, particularly like the high school level, classes that are more life-based, like credit building, investments, things like, insurance, like how's it work? Because again, I mean, and like you said, you hadn't heard of it before me. Like I talk to clients, at least a couple times a week, and they don't know either. Yeah. Like they don't know if they have it. They don't really know what it is, And I think to put it in context, I think like most of the time when you're dealing with an insurance company, like buying your own policy, they'll write it up, then they'll give you the price, and you're kind of like, oh man, that's a lot. And then like one of the first things they'll do is lop off like because it's an optional
how can I make
coverage.
it cheaper? Yeah.
It's easy that they don't, they probably don't even know what it is, and now the price drops a little bit, and maybe I get the sale. So.
That's always my main thing. Is like, how can we make this the cheapest plan possible?
And that represents a huge amount of people that just walk in. They know they need this coverage, but they want to get out the door as cheap as possible.
I needed to get something out of my car, and it's kind of important. I forgot.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Just talk to the people for like 2 minutes.
To the people.
Colin Cowherd, he did a show by himself.
He does a show by himself.
20 years. You can handle 2 minutes.
He also sucks. So Bubba's on the move here. We're off to a slow, disorganized start, but we'll do what we can. that I was just waxing poetic on the insurance industry and how to insure your car properly. So if you don't already know, state of Florida does not require bodily injury coverage. It would behoove you to get uninsured motorist coverage. It's an optional policy, optional coverage available on your policy. So definitely consider that because there is a not insignificant probability that you'll be hit by somebody that doesn't have bodily injury coverage. Beyond that, though, shout out to my guy Mbappe. Real Madrid today advances in the Copa del Rey. He had a pair of goals. He's now up to 40 goal contributions for club and country this season. Couldn't be happier with him. Other side note is like the guys like Endrick and a couple of these guys who don't play very often really didn't contribute much to the game, so they didn't do themselves any favors in terms of earning more play time. They'll probably continue to languish on the bench or go out on loan here as the transfer window approaches. But there we are with that. Other news and notes. Not real sure on this. Watched the NBA Cup last night. Was really disappointed the Spurs kind of collapsed late. They led a huge chunk of the game. Appeared to be in control, playing well. But once the game kind of went the other way in the early fourth quarter, they didn't recover. They got really impatient, I thought, offensively, settled for shots instead of doing more and putting more pressure on the defense. So that was a bitter, unfortunate loss to swallow. And Bubba's man, Cat, got himself a trophy.
Oh, boy.
The NBA Cup.
All right.
Speaking of that, though, do you have any friends that are close enough to stick a finger up your ass?
No, not at all.
That was just not cool.
No, it was not. It was not. But for a second, though, we're going to get all the way into that there. No pun intended.
Oh, I think you did.
All right. Of course, we got a full show for you guys today. As always, we're going to be talking about that Knicks championship. All righty, and the teammates and all that good stuff. And we got some Shedeur Sanders talk, some more NFL talk with Tua. A lot of good stuff on the show today, okay? On the Bench Podcast, home of sports, music, and mayhem. We're available on all, and I do mean all podcast streaming platforms, including on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. All right. But yeah, man, you were talking about the Knicks before I walked in.
Yeah, I kind of talked about the NBA Cup. I was disappointed the way the Spurs performed in the second half.
Yeah,
they kind of had the upper hand most of the way, and when it got to nut cutting time, they got cut.
Yeah, it's a couple of takeaways from that game for me, just about the game. You know, Wemby is still on the minutes restriction.
Yeah,
I wonder how long that's going to last because he played well. Who knows if he played like a full slate of minutes, how that changes things.
Right.
That's one thing. You know, it's funny because a lot of people believe that whoever comes out of the West is going to win the championship. But the top teams in the East, man, they're really feisty, man. It's not, you can't just look at 1 through 5 who's on the floor and say, okay, this is the better player, because the Knicks, the Pistons, you know, those guys, man, they play gritty basketball, man. It's a different brand of basketball that doesn't rely on just talent for talent. And that was my second takeaway. And then the third is sort of when they won, because, you know, a lot of the talk was you want to raise a banner because I'm pretty sure the Lakers did with theirs. Not sure because the Lakers won the first one, NBA Cup.
And the
Milwaukee won last year. I'm not sure if Milwaukee rose their banner, but that was the talk where the Knicks going to raise the banner. And then they came out today and was like, no, we're not. We have unfinished business, da-da-da. You know, because I fear because the Lakers and Milwaukee lost in the first round of the playoffs after winning the cup.
So you think there's a connection there?
You know, I'm just I'm down on the cup now.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's worthless, and I think when they first did it, it was something new, fresh, and it was like, okay. Now I barely know when a game is a cup game. The only way I do know, honestly, is if the court is changed. And then you got the Lakers this year midway. They're just like, hey, we're not playing on this court. It's not conducive. It hurts players. Da da da. So they were playing cup games on the regular court. So I didn't even know when it was a cup game when the Lakers were playing.
Right.
It's just it's. If you're being honest, you never know if you're fucking watching a cup game or not, unless they say it. Or if it's one coming up.
That's really funny. My experience is completely different.
You knew when it was cup season, which game was a cup, which game was a regular season? Because it goes in and out.
Right, but what I was going to say is the way I usually check the ESPN game schedule at some point in the morning while I'm at work. Who's playing tonight, whatever. But it always would say cup games or non-cup games. So I always kind of knew, like I do my little morning check-in, and this is a cup game night or whatever. So I was always just kind of aware out of that singular habit. And then, like, again, the courts were usually unique in most circumstances. And I kind of enjoyed it. I kind of got into it a little bit. I always liked the semifinal and final. I mean, the OKC Spurs game was really fun, really good to watch. And I was invested in the game last night. Again, it doesn't compare with an NBA title. But again, I'm a huge soccer fan. And most of the time in soccer, you're operating on 3 or 4 competitions simultaneously throughout the year. And so you look at it as like, okay, I get it. This is a cup thing. It's not the biggest thing in the world, but if we got a chance to win, we win. My argument, or not, it's not really an argument, my take on a correlation between the cup and playoff success, for me, they're simply too far apart. We're wrapping up the cup in December. We're
No,
I'm
not. I'm not sure if you're saying I said that, but I'm not.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Okay.
I'm just saying like that. Like it's tough to draw much out of like what the cup represents is like a snapshot of where teams are right now. And that's not necessarily where they're going to be in April and May and June when the heavy action's done. But it does give like something to kind of follow and get a little bit invested in this early phase of the season.
I guess my thing would be it's just like whatever. Like it's not for me. It's nothing super exciting or important, and it's not terrible. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not mad that they created this thing and I'm going to boycott the NBA or anything. I'm just saying it's just like for last night, it's a regular season game, but the stats don't count, and at the end of the day, that game doesn't count. Like
toward the bigger picture,
those two teams are going to play 82 games while everyone else plays 81 regular season games. That's just silly to me.
I thought it's
81.
Everyone plays 82, and that was an 83rd game.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're going to play one
extra game
than everyone else, and then the stats don't count. But it's a regular season game. It's just silly to me. It's just silly.
Yeah, no, I just enjoyed it. It didn't, I didn't really think that deep into it. And for me, like the hang a banner, not hang a banner, I think the longevity of the cup is going to enhance whatever we're going to attach to it. If it's something they abandon in 2 more seasons, the Laker banner is going to look stupid because nobody's going to remember in another 5 years what that competition even was. But if it does sustain and you're 15, 18 years into it, and it's like, the Lakers have won this twice and this other team's won it 3 times, then it kind of becomes a little part of your history. And again, I draw heavily from soccer where this is a real thing. Certain titles are way more important than others, but it's still a title that you're going to acknowledge in team history.
Yeah. So do you view the Knicks as like a real team to make it to the finals?
The Knicks are what you said they are. They're a feisty team. They play a different brand of basketball. I don't particularly enjoy watching them. And I do think that they're like Brunson being your primary scorer and Towns being an important player. I don't trust either one of those things to get all the way to a final or win it. I think they'd have to have some real favorable breaks. They are going to come and compete every night, particularly in the playoffs. They're going to get after it. They're going to compete. You're going to have to beat the Knicks. If you don't beat them, and kind of assert your dominance over them, they could get you. because they do play so hard. But I just don't see them as a title caliber team. I don't think Brunson, the way he plays, can win an NBA title.
I think this can be fool's gold for the Knicks because I do think they're a move away from real contention. Like, for example, I guess they could luck and get into the finals this year because of the East is in shambles due to injuries and whatnot. Maybe. And even then they'll have to answer to Detroit. But I think winning this cup can prevent them and say, oh, you know what? We're good. Yeah, we just won the cup. We don't need to do anything here. But I do think they're one big move away. And all of that. But I know the guys, the camaraderie, like you said, they got guys sticking their fingers up at each other's butts and all of that. They love each other. And, so it's hard to break that up. Because if you go after a big fish like Giannis, a guy like Josh Hart has to go due to his reasonable contract and the Knicks not having a ton of draft picks. Like guys like Josh Hart, who's a guy you can see playing in a finals type of game because of his game style. He'll have to be out the door. And so I'm not sure they'll make a move like that this year.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree. As you were saying it, I was thinking, well, what do you envision that move to be if they're a move away? Like, is it Giannis or is there another move out there that you think, other than Giannis, that would maybe put them in a much stronger position?
Well, I believe they need a swingman, 3 or 4. To pair with that, you're just never going to get rid of Brunson. Just like you, I'm just not a Brunson guy. I hate short scoring, high volume guards.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing. But I have enough common sense to know they're never just going to get rid of him right now. So to pair with that, I believe they need, something at the 3 or the 4. I would try to keep OG, and I think Bridges is the guy. Josh Hart is a guy. Cat also a guy. Like, if we're going big game hunting, like Giannis.
Yeah.
Okay. But something more manageable. I'm not sure because I haven't really thought about it that deep. And guys on the market, I'm not sure.
Giannis is definitely agree, but like that, I think the thing is if you're in a level below that type of trade, will that really move the needle for the Knicks, or will it just kind of shuffle the deck chairs on the Titanic?
Yeah, if you can upgrade from Bridges or Cat.
Yeah,
and I'm okay with Cat. He's not one of my guys, but I think you can win with him.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
Yeah,
but last night, to me, OG was the decisive factor.
I love OG.
Yeah, he had a great shooting night.
Yeah,
and just like he was that guy, like he really became like that second offensive figure.
Yeah,
and knocked down felt like when you're watching it feels like he knocked down every look they gave him.
Yeah, he's a top 10 two-way player in the league. I think, like I said, Bridges is a guy you need to upgrade from. Bridges, Cat, right there in that area. Now, looking on the other end of that, you have the Spurs who come into this game knocking off the Titans of the Thunder. How much do you put losing the cup? Like, how will that affect the Spurs, Eddie?
I think you mentioned before. I think they take away a bit of disappointment. The thing about the Spurs, they're a young, very hungry team. They're up for anything. I think you saw when they played OKC, they rose to that moment and got a win over a great, great basketball team. And last night they had the upper hand for much of that game. In hindsight, they didn't react well when they lost the lead after having it so long. I thought they got impatient offensively, and it just kind of got away from them. The Knicks got real comfortable when it mattered most. But you walk away from that game going, we put ourselves in that position. Remember, the Spurs haven't been in the playoffs in a long time. Here they are beating OKC in a semifinal, playing the Knicks into the fourth quarter here. And you'd say Wemby was on a minutes restriction. Let's play that game in another month and Wemby's not. And let's see what happens. If Wemby is healthy and free of any, physical restrictions, minute restrictions, when you get to the playoffs, that team is going to be tough to deal with for anybody except for OKC. And like you said earlier, like the presumption is whoever wins the West. Right now, based on what I'm looking at, OKC is a genuinely great team, and they are a strong favorite to win the title. Until they falter, maybe get hit with some injuries, that's my position. And they have to show me something different to change that. I think everybody else in the league is chasing them, and I don't think anybody else in the league has enough to beat them in 7 without a dramatic injury dynamic. So, I mean, I think this is not much of a race.
Yeah. How much of that is the way they play versus the characters in the game?
What do you mean by the characters in the game?
Because I do think there are teams that have more talent, though. And so like that's why so the question is, how much of it is just the way they play in their game style, or do you disagree and you say no, they do have the most talent in the NBA?
I think they have as much talent as anybody in the league. I think the talent that they have is all kind of like prime age talent. They don't have any fading talent on this roster that really matters to them. And I think twofold, that allows them to play the way they do on both ends. They get after, they attack you defensively. And there's not many teams in the league that do that. And so they like their style of play is connected to the talent that they have, and it's just a really good dynamic right now. But I don't. There's not a team that jumps off the page and says, "Man, they got more talent than OKC." But what's happening? I think OKC's talent in terms of the depth of it, 1 to 9, 10 guys. They just. And that's like when I watch them, how hard they play, how they attack teams on defense, how they play and operate in the non-SGA minutes. Like, dudes just automatically just continue to make plays and play smart. And then SGA comes in and things kind of run through him. And the way they're able to seamlessly transition between those two things, that's exceptional.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that really puts them ahead.
No, 100%. 100%.
And like we've talked about, they're off to that start, 23-2, 24-2. Like, they're chasing 74. They're going to chase 74 until they can't get it.
Yeah.
And so that's we're watching a potentially historic NBA season out of these guys.
100%. 100%. While this is on my mind, I wasn't going to touch this to the end of the show, but it's on my mind. I'll forget about it if I don't talk about it.
If you don't try to get it now.
I can't remember the exact year the NFL got in on the Christmas Day stuff, but it wasn't my whole life. We're talking a couple of years, right? Like, the NFL didn't
maybe like 2 years.
Yeah, maybe like 2 years, right?
I think
2-3 years maximum.
I think if Christmas didn't fall on like a Sunday or maybe a Monday where
Right.
it's already an NFL day, I don't think they, until very recently, made a thing of playing.
Yeah. And not to say that they did it intentionally to crush the NBA or whatever, but they have competitions within these sports for viewership.
Oh, I definitely think
things
did.
like that.
I definitely think they did to attack the NBA.
And this year, the NFL just had their luck was just terrible because all of these Christmas Day games are just screwed. I'm going to go through them. All right. You got the Chiefs and Broncos on Christmas night.
Without Pat Mahomes.
Without Pat Mahomes. The Broncos, they can damn near seal up, the first seed here this week, maybe before Christmas.
Yeah.
So that game might be worthless. Matter of fact, they have the Chiefs favored by 4.5. So that's the indicator.
What?
That's the indicator that the Broncos are going to sit everybody. That's what I'm talking about.
The Broncos why are the Broncos?
They're 12-2. So I haven't gone through it all the way, but
Okay.
I do know they have a strong chance to seal some stuff up this week before Christmas. All right. Another Christmas Day game: Cowboys and Commanders. Cowboys out of the playoffs. Oh, well, both teams out of the playoffs, and then Jaden Daniels have been ruled out. The team just not going to let him play the rest of the season. We can talk about that at a later date. Another Christmas Day game is the Lions versus the Vikings. That's not sexy or appealing at all.
What's
That's
the
probably the
Vikings
best
record?
game. The Vikings are 6-8.
Okay, so they're all but eliminated.
Yeah, they're all.
Yeah, so I mean, but again, when you probably schedule these games,
Yeah.
you have the Lions. Were a strong team, exciting to watch. The Vikings with Sam Darnold was a playoff caliber team.
Yeah.
Then you go. Washington was a team that was like
With Jaden, talk of the town.
Talk of the town, darling of the league. Cowboys
Always, they're going to be a draw.
I'm not even going to address the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And then Chiefs Broncos. The Broncos made certainly even last year you could see they were making progress, and then the Chiefs, you feel are a presumptive favorite.
I definitely said luck. Yeah, they just had terrible luck.
Yeah, like when you're putting those games together 12 months ago or 10 months ago, that look good.
Now, knock on wood here. I'm going through the Christmas Day games for the NBA. Okay, but they have a lot more heat surrounding them. Okay, it starts out with the Cavs Knicks. That's the first game. Even that game is decent. Cavs Knicks. You got the Spurs Thunder. That's a colossal game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Mavs Warriors. Okay, you understand why that's that.
That's an NFL game.
Yeah, it's an NFL game. Rockets Lakers. Another that's going to draw some huge numbers. Yeah. And then Timberwolves Nuggets to end the night. It's another good game.
Yeah, no.
So
you only have one dud.
Yeah, only one dud.
And that dud, just because Steph is alive, has the possibility.
You know what I
of turning into something.
What if he has a heater?
Yeah. So, yeah.
You can't. Yeah. You're gonna keep one eye on it and then the other eye on your food. Yeah. Whatever. All right. So I just wanted touch through that, but yeah.
No, but I do feel that the NFL deliberately dipped into Christmas, and they came into it hard, and I think they wanted to kind of reclaim that day. Yeah. I mean, for most of my adult life, the Christmas Day was kind of an NBA thing.
That's what okay. So
other than I said, if it fell on an NFL game day, what have you, but I definitely think they've attacked the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah. When somebody's on the lifeline, you got to pull the plug. Don't hand them a pillow.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that just for whatever reason, when both are available, find football the more digestible game. Just the general sports things. I mean, it was at my house last year. It was there was NBA. I wanted to watch NBA, but the general said, I watch football. It's just whatever.
In America, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that.
They love their football in America, man.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. You even find the women will be the football. They don't know what's going on anyway.
Hell
no. Oh, that's terrible. Still on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Alrighty. Before we get into a lot of the other stuff, I have a serious topic. Here's what I went back to my car to get. Okay. All right. So
Bubba keeps serious topics in his car.
Got to bring it in, man. A good friend of mine, Ruthi Critton, is running for mayor in Eatonville, Florida. Okay, the town that built freedom. All right, so Ruthi is a fifth-generation resident of Eatonville. She's dedicated to continuing the town's legacy of resilience and strength. Okay, she's, some of her priorities are going to be neighborhood stabilization, employment and economic empowerment, quality of life, education, career readiness, historic preservation, all of that good stuff, man. Ruthi is just the way to go. The only mistake she's ever made is going to FAMU, but that's totally off the grid there. Okay, Ruthi is awesome. Anyone that is gonna look at this video and you're in the town of Eatonville, you have ties to the town of Eatonville, you have to get out, vote for Ruthi Critton. She's awesome. All right, 10 stars.
Couple things to that. You have to be a resident of Eatonville to vote for mayor?
That is a great question. I don't know.
Okay, and then secondly, when is the election for this?
So the election is going to be the election day is March 7th.
Okay.
So what her and her team are doing now is they're getting out, getting people registered to vote, especially the youth, the 18, 19-year-olds, things like that, getting some of the older gentlemen under the trees, registered to vote, get them ready for March of next year, man, and just building that campaign.
And to do that, I know we're in some cynical times on a broader scale, but registering to vote, being a part of the political process, it's a very important thing. And, never more than now. And so whether you're a young person who now for the first time has the opportunity to register and cast a vote, absolutely encourage you to do so. Or if you've simply been an apathetic person who's just have never thought of doing it or never bothered to register, like, it matters. And, it matters on the local level, like with Ruthi here in Eatonville, and then it trickles up to the other spots as well. So I would encourage people to get registered, cast your vote, preferably for Ruthi, and be ready to go when we can vote some of these other bastards out.
1,000%. You know what was on my mind? We started with basketball today.
Yes, we did.
But I'm going to get in trouble for this. Part of what we do on this show, I feel like is we make the people better by understanding, and I think I think there's something that women can do to make things better, make themselves better, and I honestly don't think they're doing this on purpose, and it's not all of them, it's just some of them. So whenever there's a woman that needs something, needs some help, needs some assistance, okay, and they don't have a boyfriend, they don't have a husband, okay, and they're going to seek help or assistance from a man, okay, who could be a friend, could be a friend of a friend, somebody, just a random guy that they need help. They need help, whether fixing the stove or moving a couch or fixing a TV, whatever the help is.
So not purely cash transactions.
No.
This is more acts of service.
Acts of service type of help, okay? And when that woman who needs that type of help doesn't have any money, doesn't have or know about the barter system, way back in the 1800s, it was a trade for trade. I give you, I give you some corn from my field here, and you give me some water from your well, and now both of our families have corn and water. You know what I mean? When you don't have anything to trade, and you don't have any money, the answer is not just to say, well, yeah, I'm just a girl, I need help. We got to be able to do better than that. And you have a prized possession, and I think, like, okay, if a guy comes over and fixes your stove, he's not an electrician or anything, but he just knows how to fix the stove or whatever. On his way out, hey, would you like some head on you before you leave? I mean, like, that's better than just, hey, I'll see you around.
Maybe she's concerned, like you've been working, maybe a little sweaty down there.
What? You can't use a shower? I mean, the man just saved your money and time, and you can't use your shower. Yeah. Like. Am I super off base here? Nothing in this world is free, and and that goes for man, woman, and child.
Let's not go there.
No, kids. I'm saying, yeah, because when I was a kid, if I wanted some money, I had to rake a yard or I had to take somebody's trash out. Yeah, nothing in this world is free. You have to. You have to do something for somebody to get something.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'm trying to get down to. But if you don't have anything, the answer is not to just mail it in, is what I'm saying. You do have something.
Get creative. Think outside the box.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, public service announcement for Bubba.
There you go. That's all.
I mean, it seems reasonable, but, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'll take some time.
There's always some factors.
This is not an overnight change. This is,
Baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. You just got to introduce it.
Oh, man.
Introduce it. All right. There was breaking news today in the NFL.
There was.
Tua Tagovailoa, hopefully I said that correctly. I believe I did. For the Miami Dolphins quarterback, was benched after a terrible performance there. And, I say this every time when it's something like this, but I really do mean it. I'm not right all the time, but there's a high chance I'm probably wrong on DJ Lagway. So I probably high chance I was wrong. But there's a lot of things I am right about. And damn it, I was right on Tua all along, and I never wavered. And I have to clap myself on the back. No Josh, what's his name is? No Josh Hart. We're not saying Diddy no more. Diddy's old news. No Josh Hart, man.
Josh Hart's become the new Diddy. Boy, that's something to be proud of. Wow.
And man, and I've never believed in Tua. The mild success he's had with the Dolphins, the 70-point game, all of that stuff has been a mirage for a bad quarterback. I never could understand. There's so much Ben Simmons in Tua because I could never understand when people were telling me I was off or it says you got to think about this, and that, his completion percentage and this, and that. I'm like, he's never won a game in 40 degrees or less, whatever.
They're now 0-14 in games that start with a temperature below 40 degrees.
How?
But that's beyond him too, though. That's embarrassing for the entire organization.
It's not when you look at his specific numbers and how they differentiate in weather above 40 degrees and weather below 40 degrees. That's all Tua. You know what I mean? He is god awful when the weather changes. And it is a number of things. He doesn't have a strong arm. He has small hands. All of the hits he's taken, something is wrong with him because he's not processing things as he used to as well. He used to be a little faster on the processing side. Now he doesn't process things the last 2 to 3 years. He's a slow processor. He's god-awful against the zone. They had some numbers up showing him against the zone versus him against the man. He's dead last amongst the 36, 37 quarterbacks who have started a game in the NFL this season against the zone. That's piss poor for a guy that they paid top tier quarterback money to. And but all of this, except for the hits, all of this has been Tua all along. You know what I mean? It just reminded me of like, hey, you can't win with a guy who won't shoot the ball at point guard. Like, it's the same thing. Like, you can't win with a guy who can't pass against the zone and can't perform well if it's past 40 degrees.
At his best, like, Tua was a really good rhythm and anticipatory thrower, but he always struggled, not just with bad weather, but he struggled playing off schedule. He just did not have any ability to make plays when he couldn't just hit his back foot and release the ball. And that essentially doomed him to a very low ceiling as an NFL player. If everything's optimal, the weather, the defense they're playing, my calls and scheme, I can just hit my back foot, release, and at times it's beautiful to watch. But if any of those variables is off, his performance plummets to an unacceptable degree. And then I also ascribe to the fact that, like, whether it's the accumulated concussions or whatever, he is just broken as a player.
Yes.
Whatever we used to be able to do or used to admire about his ability, it's all gone.
Yeah.
He's a shell of, like, accepting his limitations. He's a shell of what that player was.
No, for real.
And so this was like a real kind of like an inevitability. Like, when is this going to happen?
Yeah.
Him being benched, the Dolphins moving on for him. And I cannot imagine that there's a significant market for him going forward, even in backup roles.
It's going to be tricky, but we're winding back a little bit because I wanted to make sure I highlighted that because that is true. He's less he's a less version now of even what he used to be. Like I didn't like what he used to be, but like for whatever reason, whether it's the hits or whether it's just a culmination of just his what's the word I'm looking for? His confidence level and all of that, lack of confidence and all of that. Whatever it is that attributed to what he is now. What he is now is just a lesser version of what he even used to be.
For sure.
And that's before we even get to all the limitations and stuff like that. Now, as far as where he can go, they still owe him a ton of money, but it's one of those things where they're going to have to make a decision. They can look to trade him, but like you said, there's just not going to be a bunch of teams lining up to take on him in that contract.
Yeah.
You can cut him and just do like what the Broncos did. Now, teams were afraid to do what the Broncos did with Russell Wilson, like cutting a guy with all of that money, keeping the money on your books, because the Denver Broncos are still paying Russell Wilson, and at 12-2, they thought that was they thought that was, for lack of better terms, sue whatever. I'm not sure if we can say that on YouTube, but but the Broncos have shown you that it's not an automatic killer to do that.
For sure.
So you can do that. The key is getting a bad guy off the field. Getting a guy who can't perform, who's physically unable to perform and do what you need him to do off the field, regardless of what else is going on.
Off the field and out of the locker room.
Yeah.
That you can't understand getting rid of Russell Wilson completely. He's not on our team.
Yeah.
He's not in our building.
That's shown to be a benefit because
that's it. That's what I'm saying. Like,
okay.
It's one thing to just say, okay, well, we have where Miami is right now. We have this high priced guy. He's not performing. We're going to bench him. Well, the fact of the matter is he's still in your building.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not saying he's an asshole. I don't know too much about it too. He seems like an okay guy, but like he through his personal failure and the team not going forward, he becomes a symbol of failure in the locker room, whether he's a good or bad guy. That's the connection that's with him. He didn't get it done. He failed. That's why you want to get that out of the building. I know Russell Wilson's a more peculiar person.
He's a different case.
But I think that when you look at what Denver did, they got rid of him from the starting. They got rid of him from the team. They ate the money, but they opened a new culture. And they were fortunate. They drafted smartly. They got Bo Nix, who's promising guy here, seems to be, matching up with every challenge thrown in front of him. And again, like we've always said in the past, that guy on a rookie deal is huge.
Yeah, by the time you get ready to pay him, you're done with Russell Wilson.
Right. And that's the thing. Yeah. Because you probably can't, if you're Denver when they were there, Denver couldn't do what they did with Russ and then get in a QB bidding war with a veteran guy that can make a lot of money. That's not going to work.
No.
The Dolphins can't move on from Tua in a similar fashion and then just try to get the next highest paid guy.
No.
They're going to have to hope that they have something in Quinn Ewers, who they're going to find out a little bit this week, or they're going to have to be looking quarterback early in this draft in the first round to get a guy that they like. And so, bring Mendoza home. He's a Miami guy. But we'll see how that works. But I think there's circumstances that you got to do. But if you're the Dolphins, you can't be simply satisfied by benching him and giving you as an opportunity. You have to be looking now. How do we get him out of here?
Yeah.
How do we get him out of the building? And again, it's not always because you say he's a bad person,
right?
But he is attached to failure, and I think that you have to get rid of that.
Yeah. And I read this article today about next stops for Tua there, and they were saying the only team that made sense was the Colts. Because they have a strong base there, and honestly, it would only work if Miami were to cut Tua. They didn't see a world where the Colts would trade for Tua, but if they cut him, they could bring him in as a low risk, high reward type of situation because the team is kind of ready made.
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones is going to be out for
could be a chunk of
next season.
Yeah.
You don't believe in Anthony Richardson.
And Phil Rivers ain't coming back.
Not ideally.
I mean,
if you're the Colts, not ideally. But,
I think Phil Rivers. Good luck to him. I'm okay with him. But I'll be surprised if he survives this season without injuring himself.
Yeah.
Given his age, and so forth.
They took Anthony Richardson off the IR list. He's practicing. He's ready. And they're like, we're still rolling with Phillip Rivers.
Oh, so
he could play.
AR could have played last week.
This week coming up.
Oh, this week coming up. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the status of Riley Leonard? He's hurt and out himself?
No. Riley's available too.
Okay.
Riley's available too. They prefer Phillip.
Yeah, and again, he didn't tear it up like statistically, but they lost. They lost in the last second field goal.
Yeah, he was fine. I watched the game.
He got him the lead in the final minute or 2 minutes, and other team got the winning field goal. It is what it is. I mean, he kept you in the game and gave you a chance to win. And
he took a hit or two.
When you're that deep in your options at quarterback, that's all you can ask.
Yeah, man.
Is that you give us a chance to win this game.
Yeah, and not turn it over 1,000 times.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like if he fumbled it around and couldn't do anything at all, they would have lost by a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
But the way he played and managed the game, he gets them the lead with a minute or two to go, and they happen to lose it on a field goal
against a strong playoff team.
He did what you would expect or what you would hope any backup would do for you, and that's give you a chance.
Yeah.
Don't take it away from the team with your own individual play.
No, 100%. So to close it out on the Dolphins, the move from here is to draft a quarterback, right?
Yeah, I mean, unless Quinn Ewers shows you something special here in the last couple of weeks, which Quinn Ewers is interesting. I mean, he had his moments at Texas, but it wasn't what you hoped it would be. And this is a guy, like, when he came out of high school, he was like one of the highest rated recruits of all time.
Yeah.
And he just never quite played up to that. But by the same token, I never thought he was terrible.
Yeah.
He always had a couple injuries, which kind of hurt his cause, took him off the field for a couple weeks here, a couple weeks there. But I think it was his first start against Alabama. He was roasting them until he got hurt in that game. He was like 11 for 12 and a couple touchdowns. And
you know what's funny is when you got Arch Manning, he comes out and he's like a cold, lukewarm start. And then you got the Quinn Ewers fans like, see, it wasn't all on Quinn.
Yeah.
It's not all on Quinn.
Yeah.
But Manning kind of, wrecked it, and straightened things out towards the end of the season. He came along. So we'll see what the Dolphins look like with Quinn, see what they do after this. And it'd be really interesting to see if they can find a trade partner for Tua or they just end up releasing him.
And the other thing, I mean, just the Dolphins season, I mean, they started out pretty abysmally, and they did have like a little mini run.
They did. But you remember we talked about it then for like a little, and I said they should pull the plug. You pull the plug because, that's way more of a basketball thing than a football thing. Football teams, they rarely pull the plug. They have this, this macho pride thing about winning. You got, the Bengals have nothing to play for, but they're going to play all of their guys these last 2 or 3 games or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, but like the NFL should do it even more because there's no lottery system. The top picks go to the worst teams record-wise, and it's that simple. So you're already, when you get to about midway through the season, and you're like numerically and everything out of the playoffs, and you have a situation, to where you're going to be looking for a quarterback next year, you gotta pull the plug because now you're not going to get a high enough pick to pick.
They finally did, but the other thing, I mean, like McDaniel,
two games to go.
McDaniel was coaching for his life. He was dead man walking at the beginning of the year. He was on fire me watch, and then I think like to his credit and kind of like
this little stretch,
he had to
otherwise.
I mean, I don't know if he's out of the woods yet, but if they had continued, if they were 2-12 right now or whatever, he would have been gone a month ago.
That is just a 10-star point because I do think he's out of the woods. I 1,000% think he's out of the woods, and I think that little 4 to 5 game stretch plays a significant part of that.
For sure.
I think it does. And that's why I'm still in on Mike because of what he's been able to do with what he's been given. He's been able to reinvent that offense several times with so many limitations. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I really do want to see him with a legitimate offense and see what that can look like with a quarterback that can run his offense.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But I'm not. Again, I was really high on him when he first came out.
yeah,
But I'm not, and I know we talked about Tua being the fault for the playing in the cold. I just, he's just not tough enough. McDaniel,
Yeah.
like he's
Things
got,
happen.
he's got to. I mean, he's been there, several years right now. Like, and there's no like significant wins. There's no plant your flag win anywhere. Like, go up to a cold climate team and beat them. He didn't have that. Even most of the bigger matchups at home, they don't necessarily win. He's just been he is not. He doesn't have like a signature win against a good team. Like the 70-point thing was against a bad Denver team at the time, and it's like you think you go through the whole Mike McDaniel thing, and it's like where's the signature win against good teams? Where are those?
It might. I mean, you want to hold on to your job, but it might be best for him to find another job himself.
It might be
because it's not. I don't see Miami. It's going to be a tall task to get a decent quarterback in there. It's just going to be a tall task. You don't have a high draft pick. You have to get lucky in the draft, literally, and just and pick a guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to fool around with the Kyler Murray thing. It's a lot.
No,
it depends.
no.
So it really just depends, man.
But I don't think they can even fool in the Kyler Murray thing if they're having to cut to and eat the money.
No. That's what I'm saying. It would have to be a trade thing. You would have to,
that ain't gonna
my
happen,
bad
no.
marbles for your bad marbles.
Yeah, no, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't see it happening either.
No way. I mean, as desperate as Arizona might be, you're not trading for Tua,
No.
and having to pay him money.
Aren't they in a dome?
No, Arizona.
Arizona's not
I
in
don't
the
think
dome?
so. I thought it's outdoor.
Okay. I tried to help you too, because a dome team, all of a sudden. Because Minnesota, I guess, is another team, but you would have to be out on McCarthy. Like you would have to be out to make.
Yeah,
a
that'll
move
be an
on
interesting decision for them.
Yeah, because he's on a rookie deal still.
McCarthy's on the rookie deal. He's maybe shown a little bit, but nothing super consistent.
Yeah,
I don't know what they feel about him.
yeah.
And you have a couple good receivers.
Yeah.
And like you don't have a lot of excuses that you don't have weapons.
That's what I'm saying.
So he's going to be
Good offensive line.
Yeah, he'll be having to tread lightly.
Yeah. Alrighty here. Moving along, we'll stay in the realm of football. Shedeur Sanders here. Okay. So last week they played the Browns, the Cleveland Browns, and Shedeur had a rough outing, man. 3 interceptions.
They played the Ravens. No, who did they play?
I said the Browns.
They are the Browns.
I meant the Bears.
The Bears. They played the Bears. Okay.
Yeah, the Bears, the Tigers. Oh my! And so yeah, I said this earlier in the year, and I'm just gonna say it again for new people here. I hate that the sports fans have become so freaking weird about everything. You guys are just fucking weird, man. And because all of our comments on like YouTube and TikTok, because the last Shedeur topic we had, we differed in opinion, and they were like, it just has to be the black guy. Black guy not believing in the black guy. What else is new? Uncle Tom. And I'm like, y'all sit up here for damn 20 years and talk shit about LeBron James. Is he not black? Both his parents are black. You sit up here and you tell me Joel Embiid should just die. He's from Africa. How much more black can you be than that? So what are you talking about? You guys are just fucking weird. I know you like Shedeur and you like Dion. That's great. That's awesome. I love Dion. Dion's one of my favorite guys of all time. But when Shedeur does not play well, we should be able to say Shedeur does not play well. Now, in this particular game, there was some interesting, or some people may say crazy things that happened. Did you watch that game or see like the playbook thing or whatever?
I heard about
the
that
play sleeve or sheet or whatever.
Yeah, he sent out apparently the wrong play sheet. The one that pissed me off was the Jerry Jeudy play.
The Jerry Jeudy play.
That dude he should be cut.
Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, He's just had way too many. I mean, he's made some plays here and there.
He's made a bunch of plays.
But he's exactly what Steve Smith said he was.
Yeah. I mean,
he's just not that guy.
Yeah. No, yeah. But on that particular play, I mean, that happens to quarterbacks and receivers all across the league. God knows that happened to Mahomes at least 30 times this year. You know what I mean? Like, it happens. Now, Judy, like you said, he makes plays, he doesn't, but he's not consistent enough to be your number one receiver.
Right.
That's really what that is there. But I mean, outside of that, I was watching, and the play seems now Shedeur seems to think it's just it fell out or some kind of way. Some people believe that the coach gave him the wrong one deliberately. And I'm watching him go out on the field, and then they have to take a delay because he doesn't know what the play is. And because so that's weird because you still have the group of people who believe that Shedeur is being literally sabotaged, and that's tricky.
Those things like play into that.
Yeah.
Like it's
that's
just there's basically 14 to 16 games a week.
Yeah.
And we're 15 weeks into this. Has this happened to anybody else?
I haven't seen that one.
That's what I'm saying. Did it happen the year before?
I mean, it's just, I had never seen that
it
before.
Becomes such a bizarre data point that you're like, what the hell? And then you're sitting here going through stuff, and it's like, apparently Stefanski's wife is related to the broadcast guy McGraw that Dion had a falling out with back in the day
with the ice and stuff.
Yeah, and it's just like, what's really going on here? I mean, I recognize Shedeur's entire thing, his draft position, his time with the Cleveland. It's been under a unique microscope because of who he is, but it's like Stefanski just doesn't do himself any favors.
Yeah.
In these things, that these things happen. Like if you hate a guy, and let's just assume he hates him, like and you don't believe in him either. That's the thing. Give him all the reason. Give him no excuse. Like, give him everything you should have to be successful, and then take joy in his failure. And then it's like, your hands are clean. Like, I did everything I could, and you still can't play.
Right.
Like, how bad are you? And that becomes the focus. But it's like you by all just the weirdness, the practice squad, the comment about the red shirt year, the not giving him, when he got the win, kind of giving a little bit the cold shoulder in the locker. Like, why are you doing all these things? Like, if he really can't play, just give him what he's supposed to have and watch him fail. And I'm baffled by Stefanski's handling of all of this, and it's just very creepy.
But do you really? Because I don't really believe that the Browns have pigeonholed or held Shedeur back to a degree of he's a better quarterback than what we've seen. Like I don't think that they have done like these outrageous things that has held him back from being a better quarterback in this exact same situation.
It's a difficult question for me to answer because my consistent point through this is by having two rookie quarterbacks out of the same draft in your team, you don't give either one the maximum opportunity to succeed. You can't have like two. It's like having twins. Like you just can't. It's hard to truly balance the opportunity. Mm-hmm. And it's fine. Like I've coached twins in basketball. I coached multiple twins in basketball, and it is a little weird because every time they'll do something different, like in terms of they're not identical the way they play, but their physical features are very similar. And it's always kind of like, well, I got spot for one of these guys, but playing two isn't really my best thing.
Right.
And from a team structure standpoint, and I don't think either guy. I think Dylan Gabriel's got the same argument that, like, with Shedeur, I just haven't gotten everything that a team could give me to succeed. And Shedeur has a valid point to say the same thing. And I think, if you look at it, I think they wanted to give Gabriel that first opportunity. Maybe he earned it very early. I don't know. He was certainly drafted higher, and that tells you what they thought of him. But I think that's why you had the stuff where Shedeur's functioning with practice squad guys and this and that. Why? Because they have this other rookie guy who has the same lack of experience that they're trying to get up to speed. And there's only so many reps to go around in practice. There's only so much time you can allocate to this. And so I think both guys were essentially done wrong by that. And so I do think that it has, and again, we won't know because we're not ever going to see their rookie year under a different circumstance. But I find it hard to believe that either player got the most out of this year from a development standpoint because of the existence of the other on the roster.
Well, I want to, because I'm not sure I saw enough. I'm not sure I've seen enough. So I'm not sure I've seen enough so far to say that Shedeur is definitely better than Dylan. Have you?
The more you saw of Gabriel, the more limitation you saw. The more that he was just going to be like a check down guy and not really be able to push anything up the field or make any plays. And it's been limited, but Shedeur has had a few of those moments. And I prefer Shedeur, and I'm comfortable in preferring him. But it's not by a crazy margin. I just think Gabriel is very much just a kind of a quick processor, but no, almost like I think Gabriel honestly is like a poor man's Tua. He can throw some shorter stuff with some anticipation, but it's not a big physical talent, and he's not a guy that does a lot of great things off schedule. And I don't think he's like a risk taker pushing the ball down the field. I think Shedeur has a better just presence as a guy because he's used to the spotlight, and he's just even the thing when he's been in front of the camera defending Stefanski and not wanting fingers pointed at the coach. Like he gets all that.
Yeah.
And I do think he does have a bit more of a push it down the field mentality. Again, he's not slinging it around like crazy. A lot of his throws are underneath and checkdowns, but I think he's got a little bit more aptitude in that area. But I don't, again, I'm hesitant to say that Shedeur is like, if you're Cleveland, you found your starter for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
He hasn't played that well to be comfortable with that decision.
Yeah. Because when I looked at it, I was looking at it yesterday, and I was thinking like, well, they both had pretty much the same team. They both have one win so far as starters. And they both play well against bad teams, and they both struggled against good teams. But I do think Shedeur just struggled more against the good teams. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like let me give you some examples. Dylan Gabriel, his first game starting was against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Or no, it was could have been against the Vikings. Okay. Yeah, against the Vikings. That was his first game that he started. All right. Now in that game, he went 19 for 33, 2 touchdowns, 190. Okay. Yard per attempt is basically six yards per attempt. All right, 94.3 QB rate. Now, also Minnesota Vikings, whatever. What would you call them? A middling team? They're not terrible.
They're 6-8.
Yeah. They're a middling team. Now he's played Pittsburgh, Miami, New England, and the Jets. Okay, so that's a hodgepodge there. But like, against the Jets, a bad team, 17 of 32, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Against New England,
What was his yards on that?
Against the Jets,
Yeah.
167.
Yeah.
All right, so just to give you the yards, 167. All right, against the Jets, bad team. Against New England, a really good team, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Okay,
How many passing
65.9,
attempts?
65.9 quarterback rating, 35 passing attempts, 60% completion rate there. That sounds like a really a dink and dunk type of game there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the 3 games you've highlighted, he's have 30 plus passing attempts and been under 200 yards passing in every one of those contests.
Yeah.
And that to me, that is, a check down guy.
Which we would assume. Oh no, not assume, which is accurate. We watch the games and the stats back it up. But now you get to Shedeur. All right, last game, 177 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 30 QBR. But we know it's a bad game. We know that. Yeah. All right. Against Tennessee, the big game, 364, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 97.7 QBR. That single game there is better than any game that Dylan has had.
Yeah.
But it's the worst team in the league. Mm-hmm. Dylan hasn't been able to play against the worst team in the league.
I played against the Jets.
Jets is not the worst team in the league.
There's only one worst team in the league, but the Jets suck. What did the Jets win? 2 games? 1 game?
3.
3 games. They suck.
Yeah, they suck, but they're not the Tennessee Titans. And the Tennessee Titans are like, they're not just the worst team in the league. They're like one of the worst of all time. Like the offensive line has given up a record number of sacks.
Splitting too many hairs.
You splitting hairs?
You're splitting too many hairs.
What? Saying that the Titans are one of the worst teams of all time?
No, that's fine, but
and the Jets are just a bad
really
team.
Fucking horrible.
This is a bad team.
They're fucking horrible.
All right. So
those hairs are not worth splitting.
But I didn't split the hairs. I said that Shedeur had the better game than Dylan had all season. I said that.
Yeah, you did that.
Yeah, I said that. All right. Against the 49ers, which is I would label them a good team. All right. You have Shedeur with 149 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, QBR of 93. My point to all of this is I think they've been the same. I really do. Now, if you tell me that the Titans game and you're a champion that over the Jets win, and then you got me there. I disagree there, but you got me there. But they've been the same. I mean, I don't even see the yards. Like outside of the Titans, I don't see where Shedeur has went over like 200 yards. Only against the Titans. He had 100. It was 100 and something against the Bears. It was 149 against the 49ers. It was where we at? 47 yards, but that's when he got hurt. He got hurt, so that's not. He should have didn't start the whole game.
Yeah,
but you see what I'm saying? Like so,
I
both were
both
are
I've
dinking
watched
and dunking.
them play, and I said it's not by a crazy use.
Yeah, you said that too.
But his willingness to go down the field, push the ball, and make a few plays off schedule is superior to Gabriel's. That's my point, and I've seen that in the games.
We have, but is there any? When he's pushing it down the field, is an incompletion or interception?
No, I'm not.
For the most part,
when you're pushing
Shedeur.
it down the field, I'm not talking about interception.
No, but I'm saying that's me saying it. I'm saying that when he is pushing it down the field, it's an incompletion or an interception. Because if not, we'll have more than just the Tennessee game. You know what I mean? Like his games are 160, 140 yards, 130 yards.
I get
just
it, but
like
when
Dylan.
you're watching the game, he's had a more completions down the field than Gabriel.
Yeah,
that's the only point I'm making, and I'm saying that I think is a bigger upside than I don't think there's really an upside in Gabriel, but I'm not sitting here telling you that I'm convinced Shedeur's a starter at this point, and that's just where we're at.
Yeah.
If both guys are healthy, I like my chances with Shedeur better.
Yeah.
Because I do think he plays a little bit better off schedule, and I do think he has a bit greater willingness to push the ball down the field. But I don't think either guy has established himself as an NFL caliber starting quarterback. And I think it's all to play for over the remaining 2 or 3 games for Shedeur.
Yeah. What's weird about it is I do agree though. I just, I spent the last 15 minutes doing that, but it's like see the difference though is when I've watched both of them play, I watched both of them play and I say I think they're the same guy just for different reasons. But if it's my decision, I still want Shedeur to start over Dylan.
Yeah.
But it's more so for what you said prior to all of that, which is, he does man the position better. He does have a command. He does have the locker room. He does have, the guys like him for better or for worse.
Yeah.
And it's not like you have another guy that is just light years better than Shedeur.
Oh, for sure.
As an option right now.
Yeah.
So I said a lot to say nothing over the past 15 minutes.
You could have just agreed with me 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, but it's closer than what people think. I guess,
and I agree that it's close.
I is my ultimate thing here, and a lot of people just think it's like leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. Now, what's going to happen is, who do they have this week here? Do you know?
No.
So they have, they have Buffalo. Is that right? Yeah, they have Buffalo this week here.
Okay.
And Buffalo still needs to win. They're trying to, get a better seeding. Josh Allen is coming for the MVP. He's making a late push. That's what happened last year too.
Yeah.
A lot of people felt like Lamar had it sold up, but you always
say it's won in the last month of the year for that exact reason. There's somebody makes a push. Somebody you're either closing on like really a statistically astounding season and everyone kind of gets that, or somebody kind of just steps up where their team is hot and you just feel like that guy's just pulling that team through that.
Now you're right about it.
Yeah.
But is that fair? Because like Matthew Stafford has been consistent all year.
Yeah.
Buffalo had a lukewarm, cold start. And along with Josh Allen, not just Buffalo, like Josh Allen did too. Yeah. So it's kind of like you're penalizing Matthew because he's just continuing his consistency. And Josh is coming on hot.
Like again, I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but if the Rams run the rest of the table, that would probably make them the top seed or no in the
in the NFC. Just record wise, you're talking about?
Yeah. And then, if they run the rest of the table, and, again, if he keeps playing at this clip, he's going to have a statistically impressive season. And I don't see why he's not in the mix. Then we're kind of really trying to split some hairs between him and Josh. My point being more typically, somebody like that we thought at one point in the year was a legitimate MVP candidate hits a rough patch in the back part of the season that kind of takes him out of serious contention. That's, we were here 2 months ago talking about Baker Mayfield looking like an MVP. And at the time he kind of was. He was playing great. The Bucs were doing like, they've just fallen flat. He's not part of this discussion at all. And again, like there's other contenders. You like how consistent Stafford's been. Josh Allen's got a couple of these like signature get on my back comebacks, but he's also got a couple rough patches of the season. Who else is a legitimate candidate?
After that is receivers and running back. You got the receiver from Seattle.
Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson
Smith.
Yeah.
He ain't winning it.
No. It's going to be between these two guys here.
Yeah.
But that's who you have now. They've talked about who was that? They talked about help me out here. Was that? No. It wasn't. So yeah, I think it's going to come down to those two guys there. Now, to answer your question about the Rams, yes, if they went out and their last 3 games are Seattle, Atlanta, Arizona.
Seattle's a tough one.
Seattle's a tough one also because
that's tomorrow night.
That's the team that can take the number 1 seed if they beat the Rams and win out too.
And that's significant. Yeah. Like if Stafford struggles and they lose that game, that's a hit.
Yeah.
If he plays, has 320 and 3 touchdowns and they win by 10 and lock things up, that becomes the talking point.
And then Buffalo, they have Cleveland, Philly, and the Jets. Philly could be a big
Philly's
game.
tough. They each have one really
Yeah.
really significant challenge and 2 games that should be manageable.
Yeah.
So very similar for both guys.
Yeah. No.
You know.
Seriously. All right. Yeah.
But it, and we kind of talked about this last year too. It's like, if both of those guys run the table, they both play great. They both stand up big in the most difficult of the remaining games. It's like, what do we? What's the split the difference?
Probably.
I mean, you could be a fair argument for either guy.
Yeah. The stats are going to lean towards Matthew though.
Yeah.
So Josh is going to have to, Matthew Stafford is second in passing yards right now, to Dak Prescott.
Okay.
And passing touchdowns, he's clearing the field. He has 37 passing touchdowns.
Okay.
Second place is Jared Goff with 29.
Wow.
So that's
how many total touchdowns does Josh have though? Because he runs a bunch.
He runs the ball a lot, right?
Yeah.
So Josh Allen has okay, here it goes. 2020. He has 12
rushing.
12 rushing touchdowns.
And how many passing?
That's funny because he had 12 last year too. And the same amount of fumbles. 5. But okay, so and you said how many does Matthew have?
No, how many does Josh have for passing? He's got 12 running.
25.
So sorry, they're both at 37. Unless Stafford has a rushing touchdown.
No, they're both at 37.
Yeah. So yeah. It's all to play for.
Yeah. There you go.
But you could probably, again, if you literally feel it's even, they both have slightly different styles of play, but you look at the Rams being the kind of the more consistent, better record team at the end, then I think you probably lean towards Stafford.
Yeah. But to your overall point, you're just right about it every year. It really does come down to the last couple of games, and then you can have a full snapshot of things. Yeah. And this year it's just going to be more of the same.
Yeah.
That is 100% right. Pink's not always right, but he's right here. He's right most of the time, right?
I'm right.
That's what
a lot, though. I'm right a crazy amount.
We won't spend too much time on this, but of course we know that Patrick Mahomes was hurt, ACL and LCL injury there. All right, and they're asking if the dynasty is over. Now there's a lot of parallels. So there's a lot of people have been talking. So a lot of parallels to Tom Brady. He tore his ACL in the same season number 9. All of that stuff, missed the playoffs. A lot of parallels there. Now Tom Brady, his advice was, just have the surgery ASAP, and then hit the recovery and the what's the word I'm looking for?
Rehab.
The rehab, just hit it hard, come back, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
RG3 said he should take the whole entire next year off. He feels that really would have helped him, and that he had the same exact injury, because he's saying that people making the parallel between him and Brady. But Brady only tore his ACL. The RG3 and Mahomes tore their ACL and LCL, and that he was saying that's a big difference, and blah blah blah.
He's gonna do what Brady did.
Try to come right back.
100%.
Yeah,
he's 100%. It's how he's wired.
Yeah,
it's how Brady's wired. It's just you. Yeah. Even when he dislocated the kneecap thing, he went back to the locker room and they did whatever they did. And his thing was, can I go back and play?
Yeah.
That. Some people are wired that way. He will be back.
I think they all are. Because even RG3 came right back.
But
he's just saying that what, he should do. He shouldn't. And what do I don't know. And,
but it's perspective. It's perspective. RG3's career essentially died with that injury.
Yeah.
And he's living the rest of his life with, I was a whole motherfucker my rookie year until this happened.
Yeah.
And I can see a future, a version of this where I don't get hurt or I got fully healthy, and I'm the dude that basically built off that rookie year. and Lamar before Lamar, whatever you want to say. That's the perspective he's coming from. Brady is just like, don't let anything stop you. Like, don't let an ACL tear, don't let 28-3 at the half, don't let anything stop you. That's how he lives his life. And so that's the thing. But my Mahomes, from a mental standpoint, is way closer to Brady than he is to RG3 or anybody else.
Yeah. And it's going to be rough for the Chiefs because I mean they do have a lot going on. Kelsey was on his podcast, and I don't even think he paid attention to it, but he let it slip. He was like, he kept referring to the Chiefs as they. He was like, after the season they're gonna have a lot to figure out, but they're gonna want Mahomes to come back, as soon as he can, and this is not. Basically, he's alluding to he's done.
Yeah.
But that's not what he was trying to do. It's just how he was talking.
Yeah.
And so you got the Travis Kelce piece. This is the worst season I've ever seen Chris Jones. He did this fucking thing that I hate. Everybody says, which is accurate, it's true. You can Google it. Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes twice. Once in the playoffs, once in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl, all of his offensive linemen were hurt, literally every single one. In the playoffs, Mahomes led the Chiefs on a touchdown drive with less than a minute to go. The Chiefs defense had Tom Brady 4th and 5
somebody jumped off sides,
with an incompletion.
But somebody jumped off sides, was it?
And guess who that was?
It was Chris Jones?
It was Chris Jones.
I didn't know that. I didn't remember that.
So, the game was over. Patrick Mahomes really had beat Tom Brady that game, but Chris Jones jumped off sides. In this last game, I'm watching the game, and Chris Jones, in a pivotal moment before halftime, Chris Jones is lined up off sides. He's lined up clearly. You can see it. The announcers is talking about it on TV. Chiefs call a timeout. Beep, timeout. Hey, you're off sides, man. Da-da-da. You come out of the timeout. It's fourth and 5 for the Chargers. 4th and 5. And you come out. I'll be damned. This motherfucker lined up off sides again right out of the timeout. And whoop, flag. And
First down.
Yeah, first down. They score. And he didn't amass a single statistical number in that game against the Chargers. Not a sack, not a fucking rush, quarterback hurry, tackle, half tackle, like nothing.
Yeah,
that's hard to fucking do, but it's extremely hard as one of the highest paid defensive players in the NFL.
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's because he's getting old or because he felt like the season is over. Maybe he didn't attack the offseason as hard. I'm not sure, but he is on the other side of 30, and he's a defensive lineman. Those guys, don't last too long, So I don't know. And then outside of that, it's a lot of, no running game. You have to get a running back. You got to reassure your offensive line. Even if Chris Jones is not done, he does need help on the defensive line. All of a sudden, your secondary looks shitty. They can never get a third or fourth down stop when you need to get off the field.
And they're not generating the pressure.
That's what I'm saying. So you need Chris Jones. You got to get Chris Jones some help.
Yeah, because a lot of the time, I mean, last year and in years past, you'd get to those big money downs. They would always bring pressure, and you blitz guys, and it's like the quarterback would have to throw early. Those are easier balls for defensive backs to defend. It all worked together, and it's just I know it's, to me, when watching the Chiefs this year was like watching Florida State this year. And it's like you're kind of in these games. You're not necessarily getting blown off the field, but you are just a bad team. You make mistakes. You drop passes. You miss tackles. You don't generate pressure. You don't win money downs on either side of the ball. You have dumb turnovers and drops. You are just the epitome of a bad football team. And I do think, let Kelsey go. Kind of be willing to let damn near anybody go. And just realize, hey, we just have to completely rebuild this. Pat will be back. I mean, maybe it's the beginning of next year, maybe at some point during the year, and we've got him. But everything else is on the table to move or configure or whatever. But we've got to get a group of guys in here that are going to compete and going to execute and not be so full of these dumb mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just think like the way this season has evolved, you go back to the early play in Brazil with Kelsey running into Worthy. Just a dumb mistake, but that's been the whole
That's been the
year.
season. That's
just all every game you're in this game in a way, you're not down by 3 touchdowns. You're there, sometimes you're even up in the fourth quarter, and you're letting games get away with just bad play. The kicker's been super reliable.
Over the course of this run.
And
but
this year, now he's missing things.
Yeah, this year he's bad. This year.
I mean, he was, virtually an automatic type guy.
Yeah, man.
And it hasn't got away. So, you have been
literally top down.
Your team has been infested with just loseritis.
Yeah.
And you got to purge that shit.
Yeah.
And it's going to be some personnel. It's going to be whatever.
Yeah.
I generally not. I mean, I'm not like a throw the baby out with the bathwater guy, but in these situations, it's go find a new fucking kicker. Go find let everybody know you are expendable. The Chiefs are going to win football games. Are you here or not? If you're if you're not, good riddance.
And that's going to show me a lot because Brett Veach, he has to earn some of this money. He's been really solid as a GM over the years, but it's just these last 2 years, he's just been he hasn't been aggressive at all, and he just made some poor mistakes, man. He's just made some poor mistakes, letting the wrong offensive lineman go, bringing in a Jawan Taylor who gets a fucking penalty at least 3 times per game.
And it's that thing, okay, if you're, and I think I think last year it became the defense was still very, very good, but it just actually the last 2 years, the year before that, they were dropping passes at a crazy rate.
That was that one.
And then, Taylor would just depend, it's that thing. It's you get what you tolerate, and it's this guy starts every week. He commits 2-3 penalties a game, and we just kind of hope Pat will kind of do enough and the defense will do enough to win and find a way to overcome this level of ineptitude. And this year it kind of came where now the margin's too small. We can't always make this happen. We can't take the penalties. We can't take the missed field goals. If you're going to win the games that they won last year, you're getting over a couple mistakes, but there's certain automatics. You're winning third down on both sides of the ball. You're kicking games impeccable, and you don't shoot yourself in the fourth quarter.
1,000%. 1,000%. Let's move it along here. I'm getting depressed. I'm even thinking about it.
Well, good thing you're wearing Crocs and don't have to confiscate your shoelaces or your belt to preserve you from suicide.
We will have a decent draft pick, though.
Got that going for you.
Got that going. We got to lose the rest of our games.
Yeah.
There's a big fight coming up. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. I have the lineup here, man. You got the ages here.
The tail of the tape, that's called.
The tail of the tape, man.
Yeah. When is it? Saturday?
Yeah, or Friday or Saturday. And so Jake Paul has done of course, been doing a lot of talking here.
Yeah.
Jake Paul denies rigged fights. He says people need to shut the F up in response to claims that he scripts all of his fights. All right.
Okay, Vince McMahon.
I give them a cease and desist. What? See, I thought a
cease and desist.
Okay, a letter in their email. People need to. Okay, I guess he's saying he does that to people who have stuff to say about.
Yeah,
him.
he made some noise after the last fight where he was sending out these cease and desist things.
Oh, Deontay Wilder, he was responded to as well, who said that all his fights were fixed. Yeah. Deontay Wilder says, I think the fight is scripted. I think his fights in general have been scripted before. That's just my strong opinion. It could be what it is, and what we see is what we get, but I really think it's scripted, Wow.
Other than, why are you saying wow?
I mean, because like he's a professional boxer. It was talking about two guys who were in a boxing match, and that's like going against the. You know what I mean?
No, it's not. Because Deontay Wilder is like a legitimate boxer who fights real sanctioned fights. And
Anthony Joshua is too.
Yeah, but Jake Paul's now fighting Anthony Joshua. That's the point where you're like, okay, Anthony Joshua has jumped the shark by taking this fight. He's not a serious boxer anymore by taking this fight.
Wow.
Well, I just don't understand the wow. The wow is baffling so much. Like this is like bear shitting in the woods. I don't understand. Like, if you think about it, like did he fight Nate Robinson, or was it his brother?
It was one of them. Yeah.
Okay, that was the only. Think about this. That was the only fight that ended in a sudden manner, and it wasn't a real fighter.
Yeah.
And again, Jake Paul's been doing this for multiple years. I'm not saying he's an incompetent boxer. He's been training. He's been having these fights. You know, he is. I mean, to me, he's probably a pro-level fighter. But he's not a championship-level fighter. He hasn't earned that. And again, these fights are suspicious as hell because none of them end early. You know, there's almost like this. Hey, we're gonna carry this around and give a show and have people talk about it. They're all like weird setups, And again, I know Mayweather fought the brother, but like he appalled me for carrying him around, and doing that. And I really think that this is. Here's the deal: if Anthony Joshua doesn't knock him out, what more evidence do you need of fraud?
Well, to go on with that, Anthony Joshua has 28 wins, 4 losses, 25 knockouts. So 25 of his 28 wins have been knockouts. He's 6'6" tall. Jake Paul is 6'1". All right. Anthony Joshua weighs 185. Jake Paul wears 145.
What weighs?
Yeah.
No, Joshua's probably about 240.
Oh, hold on. Oh, that's weird. Why do they have that like that? No, yeah, I was wrong on that. That has to be wrong. That's what it says. I know how to read, but that just has to be wrong.
Yeah.
So they gave me a wrong tell of the tape. Unless it's like, because it says some weird like
kilos. No, is it kilos?
ST or T, something T. So I don't know. We have to look that up.
Is that testosterone levels?
But they do say he's
testosterone levels for the fight.
Yeah, I know, right?
I put this in context. Anthony Joshua fought Francis Ngannou and knocked him out.
Yeah.
If he can't knock out Jake freaking Paul, what more evidence do you need that this is all just fraudulent nonsense?
Yeah, Anthony Joshua is 245, Jake Paul 230.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's basically what I was trying to say. Yeah, no. I'm with you on that, but I'd like to think that he's not rigging these fights. I'd like to think that.
But how is he not?
That he's gotten good. That would be the explanation for it. Because the problem is with that, it's not like the fights are like extra entertaining. Like I don't watch, like for example, I watched First Take with Stephen A. Smith and all those guys. I don't watch it to like get fresh sports takes or to know what's going on.
Right.
I watch it to be entertained.
Yeah.
And it's like the Jake Paul fights, they're not super entertaining. It's like a regular boxing match. So it's not like, it's all for super entertainment and he's, doing jumping jacks in the ring or whatever, or hitting a guy and not looking.
Like
it looks like a real fight.
Well, yeah, but there's everybody he chooses to fight. There's a spectacle to it.
Yeah, 1,000%.
And so it's like he fights Tommy Fury, which is his only loss, when Tyson Fury's the heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah,
and it's like, I'll fight his brother, who's a competent pro fighter. He loses the fight. Then it's like, I'm going to fight 60-year-old Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Like, what is that about? You know, and you saw, like, there were moments where, and again, the more I've seen that video, like, Tyson could have hit him.
Yeah.
Like, he was resisting doing what was instinctive to him. That, as stupid a matchup as that was almost the most compelling evidence that it was fraud.
Yeah. Something's up.
And the fact that, like, lasted multiple rounds, like, that, nobody's trying to hurt each other. Nobody. You know, if Tyson was that bad and couldn't throw punches and whatever, why didn't you finish him?
He should have hurt him.
And what it appeared to me is that Tyson was not throwing, was fighting himself not to react in the normal manner and throw certain punches that were available to him. What is that? That's just a show. That's all this is. Now you go and you're gonna, you know, originally he's gonna fight Tank Davis, who's, you know, kind of like a prime fighter, but a tiny guy. And then that goes because of domestic violence. Let me just fight this really big heavyweight guy. Like, what are we doing?
Out of the blue.
Yeah.
It was a scene. Now let me ask you this: out of all the fights, I'm going to name some of the names. Where does this rank as far as the fight with Anthony Joshua with Jake Paul fights? Where does this rank for you as far as watchability? Okay, so you got. He fought Tyron Woodley, UFC champion, Tyron Woodley. He beat MMA legend Anderson Silva. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. He fought against Tommy Fury. He fought against Nate Diaz, UFC star.
He fought Nate Diaz?
He fought, yeah. He beat Nate Diaz by decision. Ryan Berlin, not sure who that guy is. Mike Perry, Mike Tyson, and Julio Chavez. Of course, that was
Mike
his last
Perry is, I think, one of those bare-fisted guys.
Okay.
I believe so. That other name escaped me.
Mike Perry knocked him out, actually.
Okay.
No, that's his one loss, Jake Paul.
Oh, he lost to Tommy Fury too, though.
He did.
By decision.
He did by decision.
Yeah.
The first time he.
And I don't remember the Mike. I don't remember the Mike Perry fight being like a thing. I thought he fought Ben Askren as well.
He did. Ben was like really early.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2021.
Okay.
Also, Nate Robinson is on that list too. So, like, as far as all of those fights, where does this rank as far as like?
Well, I mean, the Mike Perry, I don't follow that bare-fisted fighting like that, but my understanding is Mike Perry's like a top guy in that, and I don't know his age. I don't know if he's like the equivalent of fighting Mike Tyson now or not when they fought, but obviously Mike Perry knocked him out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of realistic. And like I said, if this fight is not staged, there's no way Joshua doesn't knock him out. You're talking about a guy that was a heavyweight champion of the world, who's not super old or decrepit, and I think within the last 18 months knocked out Francis Ngannou. Not that Francis is a prime boxer, but he is. I mean, Francis Ngannou is among the most dangerous people on the planet in terms of fighting, of any sort, and he knocked him out. You know, and basically there's levels to boxing, and if he can't do that to Jake freaking Paul, like what are we doing?
And what's funny is Anthony Joshua, you know, before that fight, I mean, he was sort of in a down, like people were down on Anthony Joshua.
Well, he's never like he is. Anthony Joshua in the heavyweight division looks like Tarzan fights like Jane. He looks like what a heavyweight champion should be.
Yeah.
I mean, he's massive. He's like chiseled, proportioned, all of that stuff. You know, I mean, you put Tyson Fury next to him, and it doesn't make sense that Tyson Fury could beat him.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. You know, and so he's done that. But in some big fights, he's come up empty. He hasn't won. He's had a reputation, a little bit of a soft chin, and just hasn't gotten it done in the biggest fights he's had. You know, hopefully Jake's not too big an ask for him. And if he loses this fight, he should never box again.
Will you finally watch?
No. I don't respect what this is. This is spectacle over sport.
Yeah, it is.
And it just doesn't matter to me.
We're leaving the sports realm and entering entertainment.
He left it the day he stepped in a ring.
Yeah.
He's never been. Again, if you really want to box, you do the training, you get in a certain weight division, you match up, you start beating guys, you get ranked, that's the pathway. It's worked for, Jack Johnson, Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali, everybody.
Jake Paul paid $20 and skipped the club line.
Probably paid more than that. He might have done some things he's not proud of as well.
Don't Josh Hart, man. Doesn't have the same ring that Diddy has.
I know.
It'll catch on eventually.
Yeah. Are you going to tune in? I'm thinking you are.
No, I'm not going to press the issue to tune in. But if I'm not doing anything, yeah, I'll watch. Yeah, I think I'll be out and about. And those things, it comes on so late too. Like they'll have.
I didn't think they did it. I thought they did a more reasonable time.
The Tyson thing?
Yeah.
No, they had a bunch of fights on before that.
Did they?
It's not that it was on at such an unreasonable time. It's just that my point is, they have the precursor fights.
Because that's one of my biggest pet peeves with UFC, is that they have those super long cards. And the main event, no exaggeration, is oftentimes 1 a.m.
The last big fight was like that, though. The last big boxing fight that we all watched.
Canelo and...
Yeah. It got off to a late... they started late.
Okay.
I remember that.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because I remember, because I really wanted to watch it, and I was doing random shit in the house just to stay awake.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Hey, let me get on the treadmill here for a little bit.
Yeah. But I was thankful that I didn't go out. I was I'm glad I stayed home.
No, that I really enjoyed. There's a guy, I don't even know, his name is Tim Bradley, I think. I guess he was a really well thought of fighter and champion. And he was telling a story recently about when he brought in Crawford to spar. And he brought him in, and whenever you bring in these guys to spar and you're the main guy, it's kind of hey, if this guy's doesn't do what we need him to do, we're gonna send him on a plane right back. And Crawford comes and nobody, just him. In between rounds of the sparring, he had to go to Bradley's corner just to get water. He had nobody in his corner. And he goes this dude was getting after me. He was start out, it's you're at a certain level, and then boom, boom, Crawford does some stuff, and then he's kind of raising the level, and then he's kind of out of levels, and this guy's still here. And then he goes, I go that we because again he did so well. It was we're gonna go tomorrow as well, whatever. And he's breaking down the film and he's kind of strategizing. I'm gonna try and do this and this that I didn't do the day before. And he goes the second day to come back, and he's fighting him, and he's just as good. And all the adjustments that Bradley had made, Crawford's made adjustments himself, and they're just kind of at a super high level. And he's still by himself, and he didn't have the film that I had. It's my film. I go watch it. It's this guy's doing all this stuff by himself in his head. He goes, this guy's a savant. And he pulled him aside after. He goes, man, you need to get out of here. You are a champion. That's who you are. It's
this was years ago.
Yeah.
Oh.
But again, you're not. You're not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you're not bringing him to spar who's already world champion.
Yeah. I had to think about it.
Yeah, nobody's inviting Floyd Mayweather to spar for my upcoming fight. I mean, maybe if you have a really good relationship with him or whatever. But it's I'm gonna fly Floyd in, and I'll have a plane ticket back if he doesn't perform.
No, you ain't gonna say that.
So this was in the early days, but he was just this guy's something special.
No, that's a great story.
And then Max Kellerman, he was talking about, because Crawford retired today, and he was just he's one of those guys in every era that the people that lived in that era will say, yeah, you couldn't beat him. He's one of those guys. And the thing that he said, I thought this was great. He goes, I've watched almost every Crawford fight. Because anybody who's watched his fights, it's have you ever been sitting there in the 11th round of a fight thinking, I don't think he's going to win?
Yeah.
Or this isn't going his way. Every fight he's had, by the time you get to that fight, he's in control. You know,
100%. Because that is a thing with you're like, oh man, I don't know how they're gonna score this one.
right? Yeah.
No.
Or he's gonna have to knock him out.
He's
if
gonna
he's
have
got
to
any
knock
chance.
him out if he got
It's
any
like,
chance.
You've literally had 42 pro fights, and that's never happened.
Yeah.
Like that says a lot.
It does, man.
You know?
It does. No, he'll be missed. But I did say though, like if I told our editor if a couple of years pass, if a big bag crosses his door, most of those boxers they entertain that in the later years.
Most do. I don't think it could be a couple years. I think I would put an 18-month cap on it. Bud Crawford is a very bright guy.
Yeah.
And I don't think he would put himself in a bad position. And like you said, sit back for 3-4 years and then take a bag fight. I don't think he'd do that. I think he has enough kind of like self-discipline and pride in himself. Within the next 18 months, he's close enough to being at the elite level. He appears to be a guy that will, probably stay very fit just because that's his lifestyle. And if something came up, you could probably convince him. But I think if you get past 18 months from now and something hasn't materialized that gets him in like a hard training mode, I think he lets it go.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Great point.
And I'm happy if that's the truth.
Yeah.
Because I don't want a dude to go out when he doesn't want to compete. One of the biggest regrets that of a career that I have, it's not even that huge, but it's like Usain Bolt stayed on because Puma wanted him to stay on for the 2017 World Championships. He won everything in Brazil, finished it out, 9 for 9 gold medals in his events. And then he was done. Like he just didn't want to do it anymore. But he stayed on, didn't have a lot of races or anything up to the World Championships, underperformed, got beat, and ultimately pulled a hamstring in the last race. And that's the last image of Usain Bolt on a competitive track is a pulled hamstring. Versus, remember, I don't know if you even paid attention much, but in 2016, after he won the relay, which was the third of the gold medals, he went out and there was a video of him at night throwing the javelin just for the hell of it in the Olympic Stadium. That's the image that you want.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially for an athlete who just was so full of energy and joy and passion to go out that versus go out with a pulled hamstring in the fucking track.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. Moving along to the NBA, back to the NBA here. NBA rumors on Giannis trade value as Bucks plan to go big game hunting to help the star. I
love that expression.
Big game hunting.
Always a big game hunting guy.
I equate the Milwaukee Bucks to the guy who just won't let the girl go, man.
I thought you were going to say the guy in the casino who just always thinks he's going to win the money back.
No.
He just keeps losing and he's just like, oh, we're going to get this back. Let's go back downstairs.
There's a correlation there for sure. But my thing is on the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis is that, they've done, in my mind, they've done a ton. Not to say they made all the right moves, but they've been super aggressive in trying to ensure that Giannis is happy. And some of those have been moves that Giannis has suggested. The Damian Lillard, getting rid of Drew, all of that stuff. They've waived the stretch Lillard, so now he's still paying for him even though he's not on the team. They went out and got the Indiana Pacers, Miles Turner. They've been super aggressive.
They've never not tried.
Now it is time to let him go.
Yeah.
Because you've already hamstrung your organization. You're going to deplete them, and you're going to deplete it, and you're just going to be in the fucking woodworks, the Washington Wizards realm for the next 5 to 10 years. You can't do that. You have to pull the plug now because there's no realistic trade that you can make to where that team will be ultra competitive to where Giannis would want to stay.
Yeah.
There's just not a move on the table. The one hurrah that you did was the wave and stretch and getting Miles Turner, and that hasn't been that good, honestly, and it just hasn't been that effective. I was for it because it was something. Yeah. And you had to do something right then, so he didn't demand a trade while he was, right there in the summer
off season or something.
Yeah. So I understood that, but now you're talking about a big game hunting, and there's no realistic big game. There's no quality big game hunting. There's no Shea or Jokic or Tyrese Max. Right. There's nobody that's really good. There's going to be desperation big game hunting.
Yeah, and anybody that you're going to quote unquote big game is going to have significant flaws.
Yeah.
And it's like that because of that, like nobody that you could that falls under even remote conception of the big game hunt. The best they could possibly do is make you better, but not a contender. Like I think they believe they have a losing record right now. Maybe there's a move out there where they finish the year, 48 and whatever. I don't know, 45 and 40 or something, whatever. They're a winning team, but there's no scenario where they contend this year. And why are you going to deplete assets for that? What is the point?
You're going to deplete an empty book bag for LaMelo or Ja Morant or whatever.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, Giannis is going to demand a trade, and then you're going to have LaMelo Ball with Charlotte, but in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
You're going to have Ja Morant with Memphis, but in Milwaukee. Like, it's going to be the same exact thing, but at that point, you're not going to have anything to fucking trade or add to your team. You're not going to have any draft picks at all. You're not going to have any other pieces but Kyle Kuzma, who wants him. And that's it. You can't. You have to move Giannis now and get the king's ransom for him, and then just reset this thing. You did it. You tried. Not only did you try, you won a championship. This is not like some failed LA Clippers or thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You got it across the line, and nobody could take that away from you.
No, nobody could take that away from you. And it was partly due to your aggressive moves to even do that. Yeah. And getting the initial move of getting Brooke over there and getting Drew over there and Chris Middleton. You got the best out of Chris Middleton. He's the old folks. I wanted to say he's dead, but he got his pulse, I guess.
A faint pulse
over in Washington.
Yeah.
You got the best out of him. So I don't know, but I think we agree there, right?
Yeah, they've got to move on from Giannis. Just accept it. Go out with kind of just part with some class.
Yeah, man.
Don't make him a hostage.
No, don't make him a hostage. Now you don't have to. Now I don't agree with, especially if the time is now. I don't think you have to move him to exactly where he wants to go. Like, it doesn't have to be the Knicks or Miami, the two teams that he's rumored to go to, and they don't really have a ton to give you. In the Knicks case, they don't want to give you the guys that you would want. And there's other teams, there's other trades out there that are better.
Make it a 3-team trade, get a third team.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
I don't have a problem sending him where he wants to go. I think he's earned that. He's brought a championship to a shitty city.
It depends, man. I think you have to go for the best deal. You have to go and when I mean that, I mean if it's close, but whatever. But if it's a team that's giving you
if it's an outrageous package, yeah. But I would exhaust all options to accommodate, including getting third and fourth teams in a trade.
The third team is interested, but the Knicks just don't have anything, man. They don't have any picks. It depends on how much you like the players.
Yeah,
whatever.
Whatever. Oh, that's too funny.
I really only have one more thing that was on my list here. Got a couple of minutes, so.
Do we have any shenanigans? This is pretty.
Oh, we do have shenanigans.
Hell yeah.
So it was two things. I'm sorry.
All right.
Let's get to the shenanigans. This is a video here. Okay. Just gonna play. It's gonna play.
This is
So
set up
so
to be
so yeah, a
fairly
part of
simple.
that study is what she
These are
said
trying-
in that video.
Yeah.
That the babies, the two fears that was shown in the study that fear is heights and loud noises.
Right.
That's my first takeaway. Was I thought that was very interesting and kind of makes sense. The second one was funny because I saw some comments and it was like, "This is so WPS." Do you know what that stands for?
No.
White people shit.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause we not putting our babies just for a study next to some snakes, man.
Yeah,
that is a little. Well, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
But I thought that was hilarious.
It is wild, but
that-
I mean,
that's
it is
the wild story.
revealing.
It is.
Like you can again, they don't really know,
Mm-hmm.
and those babies, I don't know. I mean, they had to be like a good bit under a year.
Yeah,
Because nobody was like walking
Really
or
walking.
crawling.
Yeah.
You know, and so that I'm thinking you might be in like that 6 to 9 month window,
Something like that.
where you know, obviously they were sitting up. They are able to kind of like function with some toys, but yeah, like they literally just don't know.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. You know, I remember with Hazel and Mila, like when they were not that small, but when they were walking around like the toddler type, they had like zero fear of dogs. Like I would go for a walk with them or go wherever, and then there'd be a dog, and they would just run right to the dog and put their face up against the dog, like not knowing if this dog bites, it's aggressive or whatever. They had no fear of that, like at all. Like, and it's kind of like echoes what's going on there with the snakes. You know, it's crazy. I mean, I particularly snakes freak me out.
Yeah,
I mean,
me
like,
too.
they're one of the top things that are like, whoa, I don't want to see it, you know. But they're just there moving around, and I don't know, like, and you see, like, you know, I mean, I've seen like dogs around kids and like the little ones. It's somehow like I think the animal has an awareness of what they're dealing with, like that it's just a little kid, and maybe the snake does.
You think so?
Those snakes were not really moving toward the kids.
No,
like they were just moving on their
Moving
own.
around,
Yeah, just kind of, and then the kids were just, you know, maybe touch it, maybe just play with the toy. So it was almost like this, like almost like mutual lack of interest. And I guess it worked. Nobody died. I don't know.
They say, yeah.
I would not have volunteered one of my kids to do that at all.
But like you said, like they say dogs can sense fear and all that stuff. I don't know.
That was the excuse why I always got bit.
Yeah.
Was that I was scared, and they were like, "Well, they could see that, or they could feel that, or whatever." And so I don't know. Yeah, you do got to stay a little bit calm, but it's hard.
Yeah.
But that's nuts though.
No, that's super nuts. Super nuts. I'm gonna save the other topic because it's time to go. I'm gonna save the other topic for next week. It wasn't like anything crazy anyway.
Nothing earth shaking.
No, the Bulls beat the Cavs. The Cavs are in trouble, man.
There's something off with them. I mean,
There's
they
something
didn't make a
off.
ton of changes to the roster, but it's just
None
not
at all,
performing. They were the top seed last year, weren't they? From the East?
Yeah,
And they're just so far below that level right now.
yeah, and they're gonna wait so long. I've said this from day one that they have to get rid of either Mobley or Allen and balance this roster out.
Yeah.
Both still have good trade value, but if you wait too goddamn long, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's the move. Yeah, you got Lonzo still out there laboring around. Memphis is up on the Timberwolves with 1 minute to go. They're up 4.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Jaren Jackson with a double so far. But no Anthony Edwards tonight. That's what's
that
going
explains
on. That definitely explains it. I was like, Memphis
Why is he
not-
missing all these damn games?
Yeah, tonight is
Like 2 years ago, he was like, "Hey, everybody should play 82," and now he, you know, now if it's under 74 degrees, he can't play.
it says it's his foot.
Sure.
His foot. When is Josh supposed to come back?
He played the other night a little bit.
He played the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He did play on the 15th. Yeah, that was literally the other night.
Yeah.
He played 20 minutes that night.
Yeah, and didn't do a whole lot with.
But
those
he's out.
tournaments.
He's out tonight. So
Yeah,
in one day, out the next.
like a good hooker.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's been On the Bench. We'll catch you guys next week.
Next week it is.
from the Sunshine State, the great state of Florida. And what does your Uncle Charlotte always say? The